everyone. I'm here with Damien D. He's a great screenwriter, original screenwriter. So he creates his own stories, which is amazing to see. He's a great director, editor, actor, and honestly, a great person. We're here to learn a little bit more about him, his process, his love for film, and his love for sports, even. So stick around and see what he's got to tell you. I was actually looking back on some of your old YouTube videos, which I think I told you I was doing like a little deep dive. And I kind of remember you did play football.
Yeah.
Lawndale High School, which is down the street from my high school, which is Lusinger.
Yeah.
So at some point we might have been rivals, but right now we're friends.
Oh yeah. You mend those bounds, you know.
Yeah. We were all from the same city, basically.
Right.
So I guess I wanted to know, in college, when you applied, did you actually apply to like play sports, or did you immediately want to go into the film program?
Oh no. So what happened was I went to LA Harbor, transferred out, and all I was thinking about was school. I knew I wanted to play sports when I got there somehow, some way. But yeah, my main focus was like film and like just seeing how it is in a new environment and like living on my own and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what made you gravitate towards the film program?
So prior to going to UCSB, I was more focused on being an actor and things like that. So I kind of want to just have a full spectrum of like the ins and outs of the film industry. Because I feel like if you have a hand in, you might as well put your whole elbow in too. Like get all the way in and learn as much as you can. So that was my biggest goal. Just know the business and know the ins and outs. Behind and in front of the camera. So
yeah, that's true. And also I feel like it kind of helps you from the business approach, because then you're less likely to be taken advantage of.
Right.
You know more.
You gotta speak the language,
Yeah, very true. So I did see that you kind of started gearing more towards not being so much an actor anymore. You wanted to be more behind the camera. Was there like a pivotal moment that happened for you where you're like, I don't really want to act anymore so much?
I think I was doing a lot of extra work at the time, and like I think I forgot what show it was, but I remember I was sitting on the sideline just watching like people moving cameras and like like the director calling like doing like just like really fluid and everything like that, like getting like just looking around and just saying like, man, I would love to, instead of being told what to do, I could tell people what to do. Like I would love to be, lead people and obviously make something beautiful. That was my biggest motivation. I was like, let me get off the sideline and get in the game. So that was my biggest thing.
So when was the first time you wrote like a screenplay?
Was
it sometime after then?
Yeah, I would say I think the first time I wrote a screenplay was when I got into college. I remember I was like, it was so funny because college is like this hub of like people, but like in film and like trying to like figure out who you are and like and I was like, I really wanted to just hit the ground running. I was like, okay, let me create something, and yeah, and it just happened like that. It's so funny, like when you tell people an idea and you show them a script, there's like these questions, there's these like this doubt, like I don't know if we could do this, I don't know if we do this. So I was like, I'm gonna make this film whether you want to help me or not. So it's like, and we gonna do it. I'm only here for 3 years, man. We gonna do something.
Yeah, that's so true. I think I saw some film that you did where it was basically like I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was about the girl who suspected you of cheating.
Oh yeah.
And then she kills you. And then she finds out that you wasn't cheating the whole time. Like, oh man. I was on her side at first too. I was like, what about that? What about that text? Did you write that?
No, that was actually a friend, Desmond Hall. Shout out to Desmond. He's in a different field now.
It's funny though, because when I was watching it, I was really convinced. So I'm guessing that was during the time when you were still like wanting to be more so an actor.
Yeah, definitely. I was like really. I remember he had a class. He was like, "Hey man, I need an actor." I was like, "Man, I'll do anything right now. I'm trying to just get my reps in, So he hit me up and we did that. And it's always so funny, like when you watch yourself on film, because it's like you want to critique yourself and everything. But I was like, you know what? We're here. We're learning. So let's just keep moving forward. So yeah.
It is good because on film, like you can actually see the real time growth, like with every project that you do. Right. So I always same thing going back to the haters. It's like haters can critique, but
every time
That's what they're there for. They're there to play their role in a
Right.
way, and that kind of keeps you motivated to keep doing better, just like
Hmm.
showing them up each time.
Telling
But
you, every time people doubt me, it just makes me even hungry. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna show you now. So yeah.
yeah, that's why I say they gotta play their role.
Yeah. Somebody gotta do it, right?
Yes, yes. So you were saying that basically you want to get your foot like, or you want to put your whole elbow in, right? Why
Yeah.
dip the hand? So you want to learn more about the film industry. Do you believe the film industry is more so what you know or more of who you know?
It definitely is who you know, because that's like everything, like from like casting to like
Mhm.
even at the top, it's like if you want a job or something like that, it's like, so who do you know? You know, like 'cause that's the only way you get in a lot of these rooms is if you know somebody, because it's
Mhm.
really like it's really based on that. You know, it's like you could be the next potential whatever, but if like I don't know you, I'm not gonna let you in. You know, you got to show me some
Mhm.
work. You got to have a name or like something attached to it. So that's really how the film industry like gears towards the way they operate.
So do you feel like a lot of your networking started like in college? Like
Mhm.
you were able to meet a lot of the successful people or
Uh, I feel like I met people. Like it's so funny to see the growth. Like after you graduate college, like what people are doing now. Like a lot of people are still, either still trying to get in or are in, and it's like they're moving their way up the ladder, and it's really dope to see because it's like people had this idea when they were in college, like, oh, I'm just gonna be a director, I'm gonna be this, and now they're like moving towards like production or like doing like finishing or doing something like that. Like where it's like we got into it knowing we want to do film still, but there's so many different avenues, in the film like journey, I guess. So
yeah, that's how I feel about music too. Like I just knew I always wanted to do something with music, but I didn't really know how many different things you could do with music
right,
until I really started working with people and started talking to people, having conversations, and oh, I didn't know that was an option. Or I didn't know that was an option.
right, yeah.
But I guess the thing that kind of made me gravitate towards wanting to do this interview with you is because you seem like such a self-starter, right? Like you're not just gonna be the person to just wait around and
Right.
wait for someone to offer you the role.
Mhm.
You would write it, or you would take the initiative to do it yourself and show
Yeah,
that you can do it by yourself. But if
definitely.
you're there for the ride, great. But if not, it's still gonna get done.
Right, we're gonna get it done regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I did live and stand by that, because I feel like a lot of thing in film is like, oh, I should wait until this happens, or I need to wait for like a crew member. I need to wait for this. It's like, man, I'm gonna write it. I'll find a way to feed people, to get people there, and we'll shoot it, and we'll just roll with it, Because sometimes I think film is like a perfect storm every time, because like there's so many things that can go
Guys,
wrong,
you guys
but you got
turn
to
me
think
up
about
a
all
bit.
the things that's gonna go right, So that's always my
Mhm.
biggest thing. It's like
I'm not.
I'm gonna find some sunshine in the rain every
I am a
time.
millionaire.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's so true. And you
Cool thing to
have
hear,
to
right?
because otherwise your dreams kind of feel defeated, especially if you're like in a
Mhm.
creative field where a lot of people already
Fucking
start off not
millionaire.
believing your dreams.
Right.
You guys need to know something. Being a trainee, your friends, your family, your parents, they're gonna give you shit. Let's be honest. $150 a week. It's not a lot of money. Pay them no mind. You need to learn this business, and you need to learn it now. Your friends, the shit, okay? Tell them you made 25 grand last week. They're not gonna fucking believe you. Fuck them. Fuck them. Your mom and your dad don't like the life you lead? Fuck your mom and your dad. Let's see what they're saying when you're making the fucking Lexus payments.
And you
Mhm.
kind of started off like not really believing in yourself, knowing if you could. Like it's easy to be a banker, right?
Right. Right.
Like you kind of know what route to go to. You go to school for accounting and
Right.
there's a roadmap, but there's not a lot of roadmaps when it comes to creative fields because it is also who you know, but
Yeah.
also a lot of it is based on your confidence in yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like if you
Definitely.
can wake up every day to do the same thing, to hear another no.
Right. Right. And I'm telling you, the no's just make the yeses way sweeter. I'm telling you.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like God trying to humble us before they,
For the blessing. Yeah.
yeah, before the
Mhm.
blessing. So that way, when you receive it, you know
Mhm.
how much you wanted it.
Right.
And then in the creative field, I always feel like success is one of those things where if it comes really quick,
Mhm.
you lose it just as quick
Right.
and you don't appreciate the struggle behind it.
Right. Right. You like a kid that inherits a bunch of money. It's like, oh, this is what I'm. This is my birthright. It's like, nah, man.
Hmm.
You can lose it just as fast as it comes. In this business.
Hmm.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Mhm.
So considering that you do write a lot of screenplays, do you want to maybe publish them as like literary works, or would you rather have them like wait until they can be filmed?
Um, I really like, I like, I don't know. It's so interesting because I have thought about writing books, but I feel like writing books isn't my speed just because like I don't know. Like I can write like a 60-page script, which is like an hour-long script, but
Mhm.
like a 60-page book, I feel like that wouldn't, it doesn't have as much weight as like I don't. Well, obviously a book is a book, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I think for me personally, like I like the stage direction. I like the energy I bring like on scripts, and it's like I don't feel pressure to like, oh, I need to write this much to fill out this book or like to fill these pages
Mhm.
up. It's like I'm on my own speed, like short scripts, long scripts, like it can vary, but I feel like that's just my like niche, my little.
Yeah, I think you should still keep that. Maybe just like look into publishing just as a screenplay.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, there
yeah.
were a lot of screenplays. Well, back when I was in Bluesinger, I used to do like drama club and stuff, and I like being able to visualize that type of stage direction
Mm,
too. It differs
mm,
from like books where you need like a lot of literary devices in a book,
right.
and you feel like you have a lot more that you have to like you said you have to fill out.
Hmm.
Um, I think yeah, it would be really great if you could keep it just like a screenplay, but
Yeah.
just publish it under like your own name.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know you could do that, but yeah, I was say that
Yeah,
sounds
you
good.
can do anything, and who
You're
gonna
right.
tell you can't?
Yeah, right, right, right,
If they
right,
don't like it, they won't buy it. But the best thing about being a creative is it all comes from here. So that's going to be
mm,
your first initial cost
right,
is your
right.
time
Yep,
and your creativity. So
telling you.
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I
might
just
take
want to
you
read your
up
stuff. I just want you to put it out there so I can read it. But if I have to
on
wait for the cast and for it to be filmed, then fine. But
Yeah. Once I get something to work, I know I want to start like putting out stuff that I'm like actively working on, but it's just like, like
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that be, grabbing stuff and running with it. So it's like I gotta
Yeah.
protect it too.
Yes, got to copyright, copyright, copyright.
Yep, yep.
True. I'm about to find out about. Look, I know how to copyright music. That's
Yeah.
primarily what I like to do through my site is like help
Mm,
people copyright their own music.
mm.
But I'm gonna look into it for you because I feel like then you'll be more like inclined to share it once you know that it's like protected. Because
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah,
was with music. I still am
yeah.
with music like that. Yeah.
Right.
So speaking of your screenplays, so color coded. I know that's for sure one that you have wrote, written. You've written. There we
Yeah.
go.
Mm,
But I was reading through your Instagram. You've been working on a lot more
mm,
screenplays this year or
yeah.
this past year.
Mm.
So do you care to share any of them or should we wait?
Uh, I mean, I got a couple. I have one that we're hopefully shooting this summer. It's like a little short film.
Mhm.
Um, it's called Cadential Solitude, and it's pretty much it's like my biggest thing is like surrealism and like bringing like issues to the forefront and like different type of creative ways to like engage people in them. So this film is gonna be pretty much about this kid named Jordan, and he's dealing with like his past of like his father died, and he never really reconciled with him, and we have this like whole little it's like a Groundhog Day type of theme where it's like we keep revisiting it until he finally gets it and kind of moves forward and grow from this trauma, because it's like it's something that he's been holding on to and he can't go through that door, and then he can finally step through it and deal with it, and then he can grow from there. So it's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting. I think that's hopefully gonna be done 2023, and we're gonna start shipping out the festivals and getting it going because
Nice.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun.
So speaking of festivals,
Mm,
color coded won a few
yeah.
like honorable. There was one honorable mention and then
Hmm.
one award. What gives you that confidence to just like push things out to festivals? Like when do you know that it's ready?
Hmm. For me, it's funny because I'm not the best with punctuation or anything like that, but my story is a thing that carries weight. Whether you see a type or not, you're like, I still want to keep reading, but
Mm-hmm.
but really, it's like obviously having to do the grunt work of like really sit like rereading it and like making sure everything makes sense, and like if there's a joke that needs to be hit or a point that needs to be made, like making sure like because sometimes I'll reread my script, I'm like, yeah, good job, dude. That's a good one. That's fun. That's fun. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I don't know. It's like for me, like getting the script done is like it should be. It's obviously it's grueling, but it has to have those fun moments when you like have that great like scene where you like, fuck yeah, they gonna love this.
They're gonna eat it up.
Yeah, they gonna love this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's just like when it like feels like you can read it as many times as you want, and you don't want to put it down. And that's where I got to with Color Code. It's like I was like, man, I really like. I laughed, I cried. I'm like, okay, cool. I hope people see this too, because it is about perspective as well, and that's what's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting.
You want to talk a little bit about the synopsis of Color Coded?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
So Color Code is pretty much we dive into the complexities of like being mixed, pretty much. Like you could be black, white, whatever. But in this particular story, it's a mixed girl that's black and white, adopted by two white parents, and her journey to discover her identity, And I feel like people will vibe with this script a lot because it's like, obviously we're all trying to find our identity, but it's like even we talk like the complexities I dive into is like being black enough, being white enough, it's like, and like there's like black privilege and white privilege, even though there's really no black privilege or white privilege. I mean, white privilege obviously, but when you have to split it in half, the privilege isn't as strong. So it's like, like people on the outside looking in, looking at you like, wait, are you this? Are you this? You don't act like this. You don't behave like that, which is like, obviously nobody's, we're not an anomaly or, like a one way to be one way, but it's like really diving into like having to justify who you are to people that don't know you, and
yeah.
And it's really fun. Like it's warm. It's like a lot of like darkness in it, but then there's a lot of light that makes you smile. So that was my biggest thing, is like playing with those two objects, like the darkness of like reality, and then the fun of like just being a teenager and being whole, and like she saw darkness as a kid because she was in an adoption home, and then she got adopted, and then from there she found a way. It's like I just can't give up. Like a lot of people still left at that orphanage that didn't make it out, but I'm the one that made it out, so I'm gonna make sure I make them proud. So
yeah. Another thing that I really liked about you is that you're really more so an activist, and then you can do it through your writing too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're not afraid of like posting about the things that everyone wants to avoid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And the things that people need to talk about, you're able to bring them to light. You know what I mean? Make people think about things in a different way through your writing. Right,
exactly. And that's the biggest thing. That's why the reason I even started writing, because it's like bringing up perspective and like really touching on the base that we're all humans, We're all humans, whether you black, white, Asian, or whatever. It's like we obviously find so many ways to separate ourselves, but not too many ways to bring ourselves together. And that's really what I want to do with writing,
So I did want to talk more about like your character development process, like how you kind of draw inspiration for it seems like you kind of gear towards like a lot of drama, but then you like the comedic relief too. So I kind of want to know like what inspires you when you're writing.
I think for me, it's like you can always laugh about something as dark as it is, and there's always something to laugh at, even in the darkest days, like I remember I've had times I almost got ran over by cars. I'm like, man, I remember that time I almost got hit by a car, and you can laugh about it. Obviously, if you get to live to see it another day, but it's like those things that, like, I don't know. That's just the things I think about, and for me, it's like when I write, I think about perspective a bunch. I really like to the way I develop characters is so funny. It's like I really don't write it down and like put like this character does this and it's supposed to be like this. All I do is like write, and then I like let it come to me as I write. Like this person would do this, so it's like I don't have to like overthink it or do anything like that. Because I feel like when you just write it down on paper and say this person is like this, but it's like there's so many complexities when you start writing. Like, well, what would this person say in this instance? Or what would this person do in this instance? And it's like I like build that as I go, and I think it just makes for like a better character and a better story. So
yeah. I'm gonna have to actually take I'm gonna take note of that, because I do write too. I write like a lot of short stories, but I caught myself doing that same thing. But I'm like, oh, but this is a contradiction then, There's always gonna be those people who look for the holes in each story, but as if life doesn't have holes itself, because someone who is like, even like their everyday person could be the nicest person, but you put them in a stressful situation and they don't even know how they might respond. They might even be shocked by how they reacted.
Right. I always say like as much as people could say I would never do something like that, it's like you never know until
You
you
never
actually
know. Yes,
you
it's
never
so
know.
true.
You know.
So true. With Naomi, how did you develop her character? Like, was there someone who you thought of initially when you started writing about
A
her?
woman I saw on the news named Nia, and she has this incredible story, and I was like, let me use a bit of that and create this character and pay homage to her. My biggest thing for this story was like, let's follow this girl through her journey so you can see who she really is and then see what happens to her and how and if she deserves that. Pretty much it's really like a coming of age thing. I think I really hope that people get the message I'm trying to
I
portray.
wanted to know, was there a reason that sports didn't work out for you in college?
So for me it was more like I kind of like, if I could reread it the way I wanted to write it, I probably would be playing college like D1, because I played club soccer. So it was like it's like there's D1 and then there's club soccer, but club soccer isn't as like, you know, like praise and stuff like that, but it's still like I still get to play against very competitive people, get to like push myself. So that was my biggest thing, and I really didn't want to be traveling too much because I really wanted to do film when I could. So I mean, if the opportunity arose, I don't think I would, unless I knew I was gonna be professional. I don't think I would have took it, because I really do want to do film, and I was like I like my biggest thing. My mom always tell me like, Damien, you need to focus on one thing, because it's like I'm an athlete and I like to play basketball, soccer, baseball, and it's like that was always like, it's something that I always think about that kind of held me back, because if I would have focused on one, I could have been great at one, because I had all my focus. But so it's just, so I decided to take that turn for film. I'm like, just focus on film and just do this when you can, and then, you know, go on from there.
But then you kind of did the same thing with film, and you started focusing on very different, like all the different categories in film: acting,
Right.
directing, editing. I like it personally because I'm similar, like where I wanna know a lot, and I don't feel like I want to limit myself. And sure, if you focus and hone in on one, then you'll be great. You'll be a master at that. But I'd rather be a jack of all trades and do a little bit of everything.
Look, and that's what I'm saying too. That's why I was like, as long as it's film based, I'm about to put the roots in the ground and let them grow, you know. So
and your body and your mind is probably better off for it rather than doing sports, because by 30 you would have been tapped. Even if you went professional, you would have been tapped. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm like, the body can only do so much, and it's like unless I'm getting a real bag, it's like I'm just playing just to play at that point, you know. So
and then you'll just be surviving off that bag because you can't really do it forever.
Right, exactly.
So you would have to still find something else to do.
Right.
I think I'm happy you stuck with film. You know,
thank you.
I feel like there's gonna be like great things I can expect from you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna just keep pushing myself. Hopefully, get to show the world what the kid's about. You know, so looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the festivals that you won the honorable mention in, I like that letter that they gave you because it seemed really personal. It was almost like, hey, I don't know why you didn't win this. Like someone who wrote that wanted you to win it.
Right. And they were like, no, we can't give it to him. So let's just give him that hurrah. And it's so funny,
but that's not something a lot of people get on like a, you know, on a no.
Right.
Because it kind of seemed more so like, hey, not now. Go ahead and submit in the future.
Right. They felt like a comeback with this one.
Yeah.
I know. It's so funny because it's like that was my first win after like I think I've submitted my script maybe like 20 times. I mean, like maybe 15 times before that. No, actually, it was like 15 times before that, and that was my first yes. And after that, like win, they just kept piling up after that. So I was like, I feel like a lot of everything is perspective and like who's reading my script. You know, like if it's a person that doesn't want to understand it, they're like, oh, this ain't shit. But if it's somebody that like actually wants to get a different perspective and actually engages in it, I think they're like, oh wow, this is something, you know. So yeah.
So with these festivals, because originally when I read that you had like won the festival, it's like thinking more so like kind of like how Sundance has like the film festivals, like you're watching.
Right.
So I was kind of under the impression it was like already recorded and stuff.
Oh,
so with these festivals, is it just pretty much just screenwriting submissions where they're just reading through it, and then do you hopefully get to like win some money to film it, or how does it work?
So I guess like different festivals have different like compensation. Like sometimes you just get an award, sometimes there's award money attached, then it's like you can meet a manager, you can meet like executives and stuff like that to hopefully like connect with and do all this stuff. So it's like different avenues for each one. But it's always interesting because screenwriting is always more so about like we don't get like the glitz and glam of like showing something. It's like kind of like the people that read it, and then you get to mingle with everybody else. And like it's really interesting as a screenwriter. Like I've been to a couple of festivals where it's like, you know, it's like you just pretty much don't have anything to show, and it's like you tell them what you do, but it's like they don't really know what you've done, you know. So it's kind of tough. But
Yeah,
I mean, being in the space with those people and like trying to connect is like the best thing ever though, because it's like I'll meet people there that I never would have met if I wasn't in these rooms. So it's always like it's a win in itself, you know. So
yeah, it's a step closer to your vision,
right, exactly,
being realized. I
Mhm.
like that. That's really cool. All right, so that's all the questions I really have for you now, for sure. But I'm really happy we could have this conversation. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of upcoming actors, actresses, please follow Damien, because I swear to God, when he gives that casting call, this is gonna be something you're gonna want to be a part of. You are still looking for a manager too, right?
Yeah, I am still looking actively for a
Mhm.
manager. So
Yeah.
that's on the
So you
run.
guys, if you know about the film industry, we need someone who knows already.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure he might be willing to work with you if you know enough.
Uh-huh.
So please reach out to him. I will be linking all of his socials down below.
Mhm.
I just feel like he has such a great story to tell. He's an amazing person to know. So give him a follow, see what he's up to, because like we say, he's gonna keep posting. He's gonna keep doing what he does.
Oh, that train ain't stopping, baby.
Yeah. So I'm excited for you.
I appreciate you for even doing this for me, because I was like, man, I never got interviewed for. Well, I mean, I had an interview, but like not well, I guess it's face to face, but like
Yeah, I saw the written interview. I was jealous. I was like, damn it, somebody got to him. I'm just kidding. I'm always happy because I feel like other people are just seeing what I already see in you. It's like you got great star quality. You're an amazing creative. That's what I like. So
right back at you too.
Yeah, and you know, we are supposed to work together on the music video. I forgot about that. He's gonna actually film Honey Brown Sugar for us. So that one's not even coming out until Damien can touch it.
Yeah.
So once Damien can touch it, then you guys will see it. Yeah, you just worked on another, was that a music video or what was that with just the guys goofing off?
Oh,
You just
you
posted on
talking
Instagram.
the game we be playing, huh? I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so that game is called like Beer Dive. Something I did in college, and it's really just a reason to drink and, you know, like be competitive, because it's like we're gonna get old, and you know, and we trying to stay competitive, and but obviously, you know, drink a little bit, have a little fun. So
Yeah,
and
I like that. You shot that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got really great angles. You got a good eye.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I was about to say, I always like testing out these new waters of editing, and like, because, you know, one day, like I said, if a film gets made, or like I really want to be able to speak the language of whoever I'm talking to, like, oh, you need to cut this, do that. So it's like anything I can learn, I'm gonna learn it. So
So what are you using right now for like editing software?
I'm using Premiere Pro. I'm really trying to get into Resolve, because Resolve's like, I don't know, I think it's a really good machine. The platform's really good, really user friendly. So I'm trying to get into that. But it's like, you know, old dog learning new tricks. Sometimes it's like, let me just stick to what I know. When I'm in a crunch or something, you know. So
That's true. And then they have the same function too. So it's like they might give you the same end result, but it is worth looking into if the process can be streamlined.
Right.
A little bit faster. And then what kind of equipment do you like to use as far as like camera equipment?
I wish I was like a camera buff. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm pretty simple. I got a Canon, and as long as it shoots in 4K, like I'm good. And I feel like a lot of things in life is like thinking about how much stuff costs, and like this does that. But sometimes it's like, if it's good, it's gonna be good, you know. Like you can record it on anything you want. Like I remember I did a film on a Samsung, and I won like an award off of that. And it's like that just shows you, it's like sometimes it's not always about what you're using, but how you use it, you know. So
was that the one with the guy? Was it the silent film?
Yeah, the silent film.
Yeah. It's like that was interesting too.
The film itself was like me experimenting with like pushing boundaries and like stop stereotyping people, and like, you know, we all have our own truths and like our own, you know, things that people go through, and I like to touch on real subjects but then have some fun with it, and hopefully tell a story that people can relate to, you know.
Yeah, was that the scene where the girls tackle him down in the locker room and the golden I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll link that one too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You're like really amazing, and I just can't wait to see what else you do.
Thank you. Appreciate you.